Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture series of operating systems. So today in this lecture series, today we'll see about the topic segmentation. So segmentation is under the topic non-contiguous memory allocation. In previous video we have seen about the contiguous memory allocation, how processes are placed in main memory in a contiguous fashion. In that we have seen two methods, fixed sized and variable sized partition methods, and in order to select which empty space, that is which empty memory hole should be selected for a process to be allocated, we have gone with the three methodologies: first fit, worst fit and best fit. And the disadvantages that comes under using these three methodologies are external and internal fragmentations. So now today we'll see about the non-contiguous memory allocation methodologies, and that we have two main methodologies, mainly segmentation and then paging. So today we'll go with the segmentation. So generally whenever a programmer thinks of about the segments, so segment is nothing but a small part, making or dividing the available content or dividing the available process into different parts. So each part can be considered as a segment. So now in programmers or user point of view, what is a segment? When you consider a small program and when you are asked to divide it into different segments, how a programmer's view would be there. In order to divide a program into segment, let us go with the diagram here. So if you observe the diagram here, a normal program, whenever you consider, for example, you just consider a C program. So whenever you consider a C program, your C program may contain a main method, user defined functions, some global variables and all, right? So if you observe, if you consider this as your main program, so as your program, so your program may contain a main method and then some user defined functions, like one of the example is sqrt, to find out a square root. So you can consider this function as one segment, you can consider main method as one segment, and you can consider one symbol table. Symbol table in the sense, whenever you define a variable in your program, all the variables, your compiler will collect all your defined variables and put it in a table called symbol table. And that symbol table you can consider it as one module. And then stack. Okay, so stack in the sense, so stack here contains the number of defined variables and their allocated memories. Okay, so in programmer's point of view, you can consider different segments as these many parts. Okay, so here in operating system, the segmentation is a memory allocation process or memory allocation methodology which consists of or which supports the programmer's view of memory. So what is this programmer's view of memory? You may consider each segment here with different functions and different variables. Okay, so here whenever you consider it in the programmer's point of view, so your programmer point of view, your segment may have one name. If you consider this segment name may be a main program. Okay, so this segment name may be sqrt, square root function. So likewise, whenever in programmer's point of view, if you consider a segment, it may have some name and we can call it as a segment name, right? So now this segmentation in your operating system will support the programmer's point of view of a segment. Okay, so a logical address space is a collection of segments. What is a logical address? Okay, so generally if you see all the memory addresses for main memory, for each and every byte of data you will have one memory address. Okay, so all the addresses of your main memory are called as physical addresses, whereas the address generated by CPU in order to execute an instruction is known as logical address. Okay, now whenever you are executing your program, your segment in your CPU, the CPU will generate an address to execute a particular instruction. So say for example, if you want to execute sqrt function, okay, so this sqrt function is stored somewhere in the main memory, right? So that main memory's physical address should be traced out by the CPU. So for that, CPU cannot generate the direct physical address given for this sqrt function. The CPU will only generate the logical addresses. Okay, so that logical addresses will now contain the collection of segments. Then each segment will have a name followed by the total length or the number of bytes occupied by that segment. So next, the addresses, now this logical addresses will specify both the segment name as well as the offset number. Okay, so generally the CPU will generate a logical address. Say for example, this is your main memory, and this main memory is consisting of all the physical addresses, say for example 000. So this is the starting address of your segment. Now here I have the segment S1 placed in my main memory. So here, this is the starting address. At somewhere here I have an instruction. Okay, so the address of this instruction is 0011, say for example. Now this is the 12th address, from right from starting 0, this is the 12th address. After 000 you will have an address like 0001, 0002. So like this your physical addresses will be arranged, your address locations will be arranged in your main memory. So now I want to execute an instruction present in segment 1, which is at the address 0011. So now CPU will generate a logical address, and that logical address will contain, say for example, the number 12, that is the 12th instruction or the 12th byte of segment 1. So this logical address should be converted to physical address. Okay, so in order to convert this physical address, now this logical address that is generated by the CPU will contain two parts, that is, one is the segment name and the other is the offset number. Okay, so instead of the segment name, so since we have a concept of name conflicts, like if we give a name to one function, the same name cannot be given to the other segment. Okay, now say for example I am giving S1 to this segment, the same S1 name should not be given to other segment. So instead of this naming, considering the segment names, we can consider these segments with their numbers. So now each segment will be given a number, okay, and then that segment will be referred by that segment number. So now this logical address will contain two tuples, that is two parts. One is your segment number and the other is offset. Offset in the sense this, the number of byte, or here see, say for example the segment number is 1, and in this first segment I want to execute 12th byte. So my offset number will be 12. So this will be the format of my logical address. Okay, so whenever a program is compiled, the compiler will automatically construct the segments. So whenever you try to compile a program, the compiler will automatically divide your program into different segments and assign a number to each segment. Okay, so in general, if you consider a C compiler, when you try to execute or when you try to compile a C program, a C compiler may divide a program into these many number of segments. So first one is the code, the actual set of instructions, global variables, the memory allocated for your variables declared in your program, okay, and then the heap from which the memory is allocated, so from where your memory is allocated, that heap, and then the stack in the sense contains all the set of variables you define, and then the standard C library like header files and all you will have as one segment. Okay, so whenever you try to compile your program, so if you observe, your compilation process will contain three parts. One is compiler, loader and linker. So compiler will convert your code into machine code, whereas the loader will link up all the library files to your program. So loader will load all the files into your program, and the linker will link up all these files to your compiled program. Okay, thus you can execute the program. So this standard C libraries are also considered one set of segment. Okay. Then now let us go with the next concept, segmentation hardware. Okay, so once if you observe, as we have seen previously, the CPU will generate only logical address, whereas the main memory will consist of only the physical address. Now if you want to map, or if you want to find out the actual physical address of an instruction which you want to execute in the CPU, so for that you need to convert the logical address generated by your CPU to the physical address. Okay, so in order to convert it, you need some hardware support. Okay, so see here. So since we have seen, your logical address will be of two tuples, segment number and then offset, whereas your physical address will be of the form, so since we have seen before 0011, say for example, you will have a single number of your physical address. So that is, this is a two-dimensional address, whereas your physical address is a one-dimensional address, only one single number. So now you need to convert this two-dimensional address to one-dimensional address. Okay, so for that you need to map these two-dimensional addresses to one-dimensional addresses. So that mapping is done with the help of a segment table. This segment table will consist of two parts. One is the limit and the other is the base. Okay, so one is the segment base and the other is the segment limit. So the segment base consists of the starting address of your segment in the physical memory, that is in the main memory. So the previous example which we have seen, so if you consider the previous example, this is the segment 1 starting at the address 0000, and say for example the size of your segment is some 400 bytes. Okay, so the size of your segment is 400 bytes. So right from starting from 000, I will have 0399 as my last address for this segment. So 000 to 399, total 400 bytes. Okay, so now my base part of segment table will consist of the starting address, that is 0000, and then the limit, segment limit will contain the total number of bytes or the length of that segment. So here, since it is 400 bytes, the limit will be 400, and this segment number, so if you think this is a segment 1, so the segment number will act as an index to your segment table. Okay, so with the help of this segment table, we'll convert this two-dimensional logical address into the one-dimensional physical address. Okay, so now let us go with the diagram. So in this diagram, you can observe how this two-dimensional CPU generated logical address is converted to a physical address. Okay. So now the CPU address consists of two parts, segment number and the offset. Here we are considering offset as D. So the segment table contains the limit and base. So here let us assume the base address as 000 and my limit is 400. So 400 bytes. So now if I want to execute the segment 1 I want to execute segment 1 byte 100. I want to execute segment 1 byte 100. So the generated CPU address would be as follows. So segment number 1, and then I want to execute 100th byte. So this is my logical address. So now this logical address, this segment number 1 will be my index of the segment table. Okay, so now at index 1, the generated offset here, see, so generated offset is 100. Now if my total size is 400, I need to generate an offset between 0 to 400, that is 0 to less than 400, that is 399. So I need to generate an address from 0 to 399. So if other than this 399, other than my limit, if I try to access an offset, so if I try to access the byte number 401, which is not the limit, which is not the size of your segment, then you need to generate an error. So in order to check the exact access or check the correct access of your segment, we are comparing our offset number with the limit register. So if it is less than, that is within 400, then you will provide access to the physical memory. So in order to find out the address, now you will go with the base address. You will add 100 to your base address. So here 100 plus the starting base address, which gives 0100 as my base address. So this physical address, in this physical address, wherever the location 0100 is present, that particular instruction will be brought to CPU for execution. Okay, so that is about the segmentation hardware. Now let us go with a small example of this segmentation. See here, in this example I am having 5 segments, so numbered with 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and this is the corresponding segment table here. So in this segment table, if you observe, the segment 0 is placed at address 1400 and it is up to 2400. So the total size here, so now my base for segment 0, base address starts from 1400 and it is extending up to 2400. So then what is the limit? So 1400 minus 2400, that is the limit. Total number of bytes of segment 1 is 1000. So in the same way, segment 2 starts from 4300 and it has a size of 400 bytes, 4300 to 4700. So total a limit of 400 bytes. And then segment 1 starts from 6300. So my base contains 6300 and the total size is 400. So the last address will become 6300 plus 400, that is 6700. So likewise, with the help of this segment table, we will find out from the generated logical address, we will find out the actual physical address of your main memory of that particular segment. Okay, so this is about the segmentation. That's all about the segmentation. In the next video, we'll see about the next non-contiguous memory allocation strategy, that is paging. Thank you for watching.